I want to take this moment to talk about insecurity, specifically my insecurities. There's this idea that some people have, not everyone, but a lot of people have, that whatever it is that they're doing right now is whatever they're always going to be doing forever. That they make this plan that they're going to work this job, they're going to make this money, they're going to buy this house, they're going to meet someone, they're going to have kids, and they're going to go on. And the idea that the the idea that anything could happen outside of that plan doesn't even enter into people's minds. That they could get sick with something they can't recover from. A loved one, a friend, a family member could pass away. Doesn't even enter into their minds. But that being said, that's a huge insecurity that I have being on the kidney transplant list. With when you typically discuss this with, people at your dialysis clinic or your nephrologist or this person or that person involved in the world of kidney disease and dialysis, the general consensus is it's always going to work out. It's always going to work out. You're fine right now, and you're always going to be fine forever. And they're just going to give you a kidney and everything goes fine. But just because I'm fine right now doesn't mean that it's always going to be this way. And that's a huge fear that I have, if I'm being completely open with you, of, yeah, I'm doing okay now, but I don't know what's going to happen between now and 5 years from now, if that is the projected amount of time, or 10 years from now, if the projections for that amount of time are correct. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know if I'll be fine. You can do everything right, and it can still go wrong. Your favorite team, whoever your favorite team is, I don't know sports, could play the perfect game and still get beaten. I sort of equate it like this, right? You have a savings account. You have a checking account, whatever. You save your money. Well, why do you save your money? In case of a rainy day, because you never know what's going to happen. And that same philosophy applies to being on a transplant list, and not just kidney transplant list, any transplant list. You don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know what's going to happen. And there's all this insecurity and this fear, regardless of what anybody tells you to do, of what if they get to me too late? Or what if too much time passes and I am no longer eligible to stay on the kidney transplant list? Because that can happen. That's a real thing. And these are things that I feel like more people should talk about, instead of just being like, yeah, positivity and it's just going to work out for you. And like the conversation should be more balanced, I believe. And these are things that people that are on transplant lists really think about, of what if something happens to me? What if I get into an accident? What if my condition worsens and they take me off this list and they physically cannot put me back on it for physical reasons. They can't do it. So what do I do? I don't know what I would do. And these are thoughts that I've had. These are things that I think about, of like, well, what? Okay, so they can't put me on the list. So that means that I'm literally stuck doing dialysis forever. Do I stop? But like, the whole point of me doing dialysis was to get the kidney, but now that's no longer afforded to me. So what do I even do? Does my life even have any more value if there's literally nothing to work towards to get some relief? There's this idea that you're not supposed to treat this like it's a big deal. that you're just supposed to just hang back and chill out and just be happy all the time. And, 5, 6, 10 years will be here before you know it. And that is, even 5 years is still a significant amount of time in somebody's life, depending on how old you are. And if I'm being open in this video, which I try to be, and I've expressed this before, kidney disease and dialysis has greatly negatively impacted my life in several ways. And it's not something that I'm proud of, and it's not something that I enjoy doing. And because of the unknown nature of how all of this works, you don't really know what's going to happen. You just sort of have to take a wait and see approach, or at least that's the approach that I take anyway. Really, the idea of me being on dialysis forever because of an ineligibility for me to get a kidney if something happens, because the transplant centers have waited so long to help me, scares me to death. Scares me to death. I don't think ignoring this aspect of transplant is very productive. If you ask me, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, I can't keep putting myself on that hope train, that hope roller coaster going up and up and up and up and up. And then if something goes wrong, then I go back down. Like, I can't keep doing that to myself emotionally. All right. And I'm not a pessimist. And I don't always look at the glass half full. But I do try to have a realistic expectation about my chances. Like, I want to know the facts. Hopes and dreams, all that stuff is cool, but I want to know what my odds are of success here. And I want to know if it's viable. So that way it gives me a game plan of what to do and how to mentally prepare myself for what's about to happen. I think that during this, I have no more, I have nothing left to give to kidney disease and dialysis. I got nothing left except for contempt. That's the only thing that I have left to give. But circling back to the beginning of the video, it's, and I want to stress this, like, these are my views, these are my personal views. I'm not speaking for anyone else or the community or anything like that. This is just my personal views about how I feel about dialysis, and I am unapologetic about those views. This is how I view things, and that's just me. But I think that the floor of discussion should be opened up about the insecurities that go along with being on a transplant list, because they're very real. Whether people want to admit them or not, whether people want to, express themselves on social media in a video or whatever, those are real things that I feel, and I think that a lot of people out there going through the same thing as me would agree. So, until next time.